Hi there, so today I am not feeling great and I haven't been for a while, and something that I've been thinking a lot about is how I can keep going and keep up with the responsibilities and the jobs and tasks that I have, even though everything feels like too much. I'm sure that this is a problem that a lot of people struggle with, not just mums like me, but people who have health problems, people who are struggling with a difficult time in their life, people who maybe have had a lot of stresses coming into their life lately. And the first thing that I would say is have a look at your calendar, see if maybe you've overscheduled yourself, maybe people around you are expecting you to do too much. Maybe you can cut back on some of those. Maybe someone else can take the children to their clubs. Maybe another mum can share the school run with you. Maybe there's someone that can help you look after the children during the week so that you can have a day or a couple of hours where you can just be with yourself. Maybe you need to ask someone to help you. But have a look first at your calendar and see if there's a way that you can take things out of your schedule, or maybe just spread things out a bit more. So that said, the second thing that I would say to do is to schedule into your daily routine. That what you typically do in a day is your routine, but when you recognise that routine, it makes things easier, and it means that you can then schedule in rest time into your day. If you can recognise your daily routine, write it down on a piece of paper, and then schedule in rest times. So right now I've had to schedule in rest times, I've had to schedule in downtimes, so my daily routine looks a little different. So this is my third point. Use nap times in a new way. You're here, use nap times, go to sleep when the baby goes to sleep, go to sleep when your children are asleep. Use nap times as your rest time, your sleep time, your break during the day. Or other people use nap times as your time to get jobs done, and that used to be me. Like, nap times were not a time to sleep. Nap times were a time to race around and do the jobs that I couldn't do when children were around. I've changed how I use nap times, and now because I need that time, I start by doing 10 to 15 minutes of jobs, and then the second half an hour I'll sit down and I'll do YouTube, or I'll do a bit of work, or I'll put on a video to watch, or like I'll do something like reading that relaxes me, that rests me, that makes sure that I'm sitting in one place. I'm not zinging about doing stuff, but I still feel like I've accomplished something that needs to be done by the end of that time. And then at the end of that time, my body is ready to carry on. So that's something that I would say, to look at using nap times in a different way, to cross between, maybe don't sleep, maybe you do sleep, but to use it as a time that you can rest after doing like a couple of jobs. And the reason I do the jobs first is because if you do your rest time first and then you do your jobs, when nap time ends, you're tired from doing that 10 to 15 minute of jobs, plus you're not going to rest and relax well because you know that you've got to keep an eye on the time so that you're ready to do the jobs. And if nap time ends earlier, if you only get like 30 minutes and then you have to go up and you have to attend to someone or something like that, you've not actually got anything done. So if you start by doing a few simple things a little bit and then you relax and rest, you're still going to get your rest time because you're only doing 10 minutes or so. So even if nap time's only half an hour, you've still got 20 minutes of just sitting. And maybe you feel like you can get up and you can do something else. You can make a phone call or something during that time. Whatever you choose to do is fine, but start with a couple of jobs, 10 minutes or so, and then have rest time. The fourth thing, I'm losing track of my numbers. The fourth thing that I would say to do is to let go of your expectations. We all have this expectation of ourselves. We have these expectations that we put on ourselves and these expectations that we take on from other people. And there's nothing wrong with having an expectation. It's what keeps us going. It's what gives us the motivation to do things. If we have no expectations of ourselves, we wouldn't even get up in the morning. But there are some times in life when we have to let go of those expectations, and our expectation has to be, I got up, I got dressed, everyone survived the day, and I got one thing done. And that one thing was that I wiped the table down after lunch. And sometimes it's best to let go of our expectations so that we can then exceed our expectations, because the expectations we put on ourselves can make us feel worse. So let go of those expectations. The fourth thing that I would say is to prioritise. Prioritise exactly what needs to be done. Do you need to do it, and does it need to be done now? And if the answer to those questions, either one of those questions, is no, you're not doing it. If there are things that are on your to-do list, mental or on paper or however you make your to-do lists, if there are things on there that you personally don't need to do or that don't need to be done now, put them to one side. You can pick from that list later on, but you're going to focus on the things that you personally have to do at this point in time. And then if you find you have more energy or you want to do something else, you can have a look and you can pick something from that list that I personally don't need to do. Or maybe there's something else, so another way around it. Maybe, yes, the shopping does need to be got. However, you can ask someone else to bring the shopping. Someone can get it on the way home, someone can drive past and get it, or you can order it in and get a delivery. So prioritise exactly what you need to do at that point in time and let go of everything else. It's quite similar to letting go of expectations, but they're slightly different. The fifth thing is something, it's a well-recognised fact, but it's something that you're going to look at me and go, I don't have time and I don't have energy, why are you telling me to do this? And that is to gently exercise outside. And that's because when we go outside, it gives our mood a boost, it gives our energy a boost. We feel better generally, no matter what the weather, in terms of whether it's cold or warm. We feel better generally if we've gone outside, even if all we've done is we've sat on the porch for 10 minutes. Or we've walked out the front door, we've walked down the road to the post box maybe, and we've walked back again. There is something about being outside, being out in the fresh air, being in nature, that makes us feel better. And if you don't have energy, or you feel you don't have time, hopefully your time problem has been sorted to some extent by your previous ones of letting go of expectations, prioritising what needs to be done, and having a look at your schedule to see if there are spaces that you can make. There are always things that we can drop, and there is always time for you to even walk outside for 5 minutes. Even if you literally step out the door, sit in the porch, as I said before, or sit on your grass, or sit on someone else's grass. You don't have to do anything. Just be outside. Breathe that fresh air. Having a change of scene and going somewhere different to where you normally are, even if that's just stepping out of the living room outside, will impact your mood and be so beneficial that it will be something you never want to skip doing again. And the other thing is exercise actually raises, I think it's dopamine, the feel-good hormone. So when you exercise, and that could be anything, it could be some mild stretches, it could be that you get outside and you walk somewhere for maybe even 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Any kind of exercise actually can raise how happy we feel about ourselves. So always try to make time. If you're starting to feel a little bit like everything's getting too much, you have no time, you have no energy, try and schedule in a bit of exercise, schedule in a bit of outside time. Choose one of them. Maybe you don't do everything, like all of them every day, but I know that for me, getting outside every day dramatically improved my mind. It improved my mood, it improved how I felt about things, and it improved how productive I was. Something else that you can do is you can delegate. So ask people to do things for you. It's incredibly rare that there is a job that only you can do and there is absolutely no one else that can do it. And another thing is you need to pace yourself. So if you find that you have a lot of energy at a certain time of day, don't race through until you feel you need to go to bed, because all you're doing is you're using that energy and you're using it to then crash. And then it takes you so much longer to build up the energy to get on to the next bit. But if you use that energy slowly through the day and you schedule in your rest breaks to build it back up, over time you will feel better. You might not get as much done as you think you might have been able to, but by pacing yourself and looking at how much energy you've got and what needs to be done, you will find that you accomplish more in the long run than if you race through things because you have the energy and then are completely tired out. Don't work until you burn out. Just do a little bit and then rest, and do a little bit and then rest. And resting something that is less active or requires less effort than what you would normally have been doing at that point in time. And then the last thing that I would say is to go to bed at a decent time. Our bodies have something called the circadian rhythm, and I know lots of people talk about this. People talk about it all the time. Anywhere you go, you will have heard someone talk about the circadian rhythm. Basically, it's how our body knows when to sleep and when to wake up. So if you go to bed at a consistent time every night, pick a time. Maybe you're going to bed slightly earlier than you normally would, but set a time that you're going to go to bed every night. So maybe it's 9:30 every night, you're going to go to bed. That then means that you will sleep better because your body is preparing to go to sleep. It knows that when it gets to 9 o'clock, it needs to start getting ready to sleep because you're going to go to bed at 9:30. When you're setting your bedtime, do have a look at what time you need to be up in the morning, what time you're going to wake up in the morning, and then make sure that you schedule your going to bed time between 7 and 9 hours before, so that you are getting the amount of sleep that you need. And then in the morning, we all have to be up by a certain time. None of us could just stay in bed all day and do absolutely nothing and have no repercussions. All of us have a time that we need to be up by. And this is going to sound so counterproductive. Get up or wake up before you need to. If you wait until you need to, until the children are crying, until your alarm is going off, until you have 15 minutes to get out the door after eating breakfast, then you're going to be rushed. You're going to be startling yourself awake and going straight out the door. You're not going to have enough time to wake properly. So, this is why I say wake up before you need to. So if you need to be up for 7:30, aim to be awake by 7, so that you can be opening your eyes at 7. You can have that little bit of time to breathe. Maybe you can go to the toilet, you can have a drink, you can wake up slowly without having to hit the ground running. And because your morning is that little bit more relaxing, you will feel that bit more relaxed through the day. You'll have that time to get up, to wake up, and then to get into the day. So have a look at what time you need to be up. Aim to be awake 30 minutes before that, and be in bed roughly 8 hours, but 7 to 9 hours before that. So those are my tips for keeping going when it all seems too much because you're tired, you're unwell, you're in a busy patch of life. So I will put these in the description box as well. But anyway, I'm going to sign off for now, and I will see you again next week. Take care, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click the notifications. And if you like this video, please do hit the thumbs up. It really helps the channel. Take care.